opportunity is this for you personally to compete with a player of that caliber?
Definitely. I mean, for all of the freshmen and for even the girls who are here, but specifically this freshman class, I mean, we've seen her just take over the world of women's basketball. So, it's definitely an honor to play on the same court as her, but we're excited to, do our thing and make sure we're not too focused on it during the game, and just kind of focus on what we can do to beat them.
This building has had a great history of big-time matchups. Referring back to when, Purdue beat #1 ranked Tennessee at the time. Knowing that there's history in this building, has Gerald talked to you about, that history and, what it would mean for this program to beat them?
Well, I think one of the things that Coach Katie always talks about is the environment in Mackey. I mean, you see everything that Big Ten posts, everything that Purdue posts. I mean, it's crazy to play in Mackey. And for this will be my first game playing in a sold-out Mackey, which I can't wait to do. But I think that's a huge part of the Purdue culture around these big-time wins and big-time upsets is we have the crowd and we have the facilities to do so. So it's just about us, performing under that pressure.
Thanks.
Just the opportunity that this presents for your team.
Mm-hmm.
You're still on a winning streak, even though your game
Yes.
got postponed.
Yes.
Yesterday, but just the opportunity that you have to kind of elevate yourself a little bit in the Big Ten.
Definitely. I mean, this is a huge game for us. It's a huge game for anyone who plays Iowa. But I think specifically for us, this is what our non-conference prepared us for. Playing UCLA, playing teams like Notre Dame. That's going to, we learned from both of those games, and that's going to help us put our best foot forward in this Iowa game.
What do you think has been the biggest, mental sort of exercise you've been doing with yourself to kind of gear yourself up, knowing there's going to be so much energy in this gym, and knowing what's on the other side? How are you mentally prepared yourself, for what's to come tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, locking into the small details more than ever before. I think, when you get stressed out or when you kind of have this physical reaction of like your heart's beating and you have butterflies, one thing that you tend to do is your mind kind of goes somewhere else. And I think our team is really focusing on, okay, there are going to be a lot of nerves, there are going to be a lot of excitement, but how can we tune in on the fine details that we know we will need in order to beat this team?
Do you experience that during games, or have you gotten to play so much now that now it doesn't maybe bother you as much?
It definitely was more so in the beginning, and I've kind of gotten my emotions a little more under control. But, I think it is still the first time I'll be playing in a sold-out stadium or arena here at Mackey, and I think that's going to play a part in it. So I know I'll have to do even more kind of self-searching to make sure I am ready from the start of the game.
How was it to go to Maryland and have that delay happen and the postponement? How did you guys respond to that?
We were certainly disappointed, to fly all the way to Maryland just to fly right back is kind of messes us up a little bit. But, this stuff happens, and it's just another opportunity for us to say, all right, we were there, we were ready for Maryland, and we were ready to play. We weren't able to play that game, but we're just looking forward to this Iowa game and saying, well, this would be a great win to get under our belt in order to go to Maryland.
Definitely. And then you guys were due for the long break after Iowa, and now it's kind of, and I know Kate wasn't thrilled about that either.
Yeah.
So how does that kind of change just your schedule in general after this game?
Yeah, I mean, we have, nobody in the Big Ten has an easy schedule because it is just so jam-packed with great teams. But specifically for us, it's that 2 to 3 days of turnaround just about for every game for the rest of our season, which is exciting, honestly. We were here over the summer, we were here in the fall waiting for this moment when we were just playing games and rolling and keeping going. So we're excited.
Did that experience at Maryland kind of take you back to your AAU days, traveling all the way to a place and then finding out, that something happened and then kind of having to make the best of that journey within itself?
Certainly. I mean, everyone who's played basketball or has a child who's played basketball knows that AAU can be a total mess. So the idea that we went all the way there not to play a game was definitely a bummer. But, we're just looking forward to when we play them again this weekend.
Does Caitlin Clark have a weakness?
Yes, everybody has a weakness, and so that's what we're focusing on. And I think Iowa does have weaknesses. It's important to know what their strengths are so that we can limit those as much as possible, but then expose those weaknesses because we have some strengths that I think really play to their weaknesses. It'll be good to kind of get that going.
Caitlin Clark has played in 115 games in her career. Only once has she ever not hit a three, and that was here at Mackey Arena. What's it going to take to maybe take her out of that rhythm and maybe continue that trend?
It'll take every player on our team, everyone who's playing, everybody who's on the bench, every person in the coaching staff and support staff to just make sure that we are locked in and ready to go. Whether she hits a three or not, we're not going to worry too much about that, but we're going to worry about, as a whole, how can we beat them, as a team, because as we know, it's not just Caitlin Clark. She's incredible, but they've got a lot of good people on that team and people that can also help win them the game.